Welcome to Popcorn Planet. I'm Andy Signore. We are live. We've got so much to talk about, but I got to talk about this breaking story that's become our today's main story. I got to be honest, I didn't see this coming. Gabby Petito's family will be suing Brian Laundrie's parents, claiming they knew about their daughters. I mean, I thought we were done. And I'll be honest, I got your back, Petitos. You do what you need to do. We are so here for it. But I just assumed they were trying to, like, you know what? It's over. With respect, let's focus on the charities, foundations. And I wouldn't have faulted them. Wouldn't have faulted them at all. I would have thought, wow, that is some immensely brave stuff to just focus on there. But no, guys, they are coming at the Laundries. Yes, please. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. Yes. I please do. Please do. Now, we've always been talking about, do they have a shot? Could they do this? Well, we're going to find out, guys. We're going to find out. So let's learn more. I saw Hey GB broke this, and a lot of you guys have been sending it to me as it's been breaking over the past 20 minutes. But let's break down what WFLA is reporting here and react to it, because this is big news. Gabby Petito's family filed a civil lawsuit against the parents of Brian Laundrie this week, accusing the Laundrie family of knowing their son, M-U-R-D-A, I got to be careful my words here, M-U-R-D-A-R, their 22-year-old daughter, Gabby Petito, and were working to help him leave the country. Oh my God, bring it. Yes, bring it. Petito's father, Joseph. My gosh, yes, Joseph. Yes, Nicole. We got you on this. They filed a civil lawsuit against Chris and Roberta Laundrie on Thursday, March 10th, according to court documents obtained by WFLA. The new documents contain several bombshell allegations that were not previously mentioned by the FBI, the lead investigating agency, on the Petito and Laundrie case. According to the documents, it's believed Petito died on August 27th at the hands of Laundrie. The FBI said last month that Laundrie claimed responsibility for her death in a written journal entry that was found by his, in Sarasota, we know. While a coroner determined that it was manual, we know all these details. I don't need to repeat all this. Civil lawsuit claims she also suffered blunt force things as well. Oh, I hope you can read this, guys. I know it's so annoying. This platform makes it so annoying for me to get you the details, but when we do these types of topics, bear with me. In the new lawsuit, the parents allege that Laundrie told his parents what happened on or about August 28th. It is believed and therefore arrived that Brian Laundrie advised his parents, Christopher Laundrie and Roberta Laundrie, that he had done what he had done to Gabby. The lawsuit states, on that same date, Christopher Laundrie and Roberta Laundrie spoke with attorney Steve Bertolino and sent him a retainer on September 2nd, 2021. The lawsuit says Laundrie sent text messages back and forth between his phone and Petito's phone afterwards in an effort to hide the fact that she was no longer here. The suit also specifically mentions a text Laundrie received sent to Schmidt on August 27th that referred to Petito's grandfather by his first name, Stan. Petito's mother had previously said that the final text message raised red flags to her because Petito never called her grandfather by her first name. The suit claims Laundrie sent an additional text from Petito's phone on August 30th to Schmidt saying there was no service in Yosemite Park in an effort to deceive her into believing her daughter was still alive. God, these scumbags. We knew about Brian, but the parents, to just not tell these parents, it's despicable. It is despicable. It's getting all my emotions back on this case. The suit then lays out some of what happened in the days after Petito's, losing her. Before an official missing person alert went out, the Petito family says there was no contact between the families after Brian returned home to Northport, driving alone in a van on September 1st. It also mentions the vacation that Laundrie's took to Fort Sesotho Park while Gabby Petito's family was suffering. Facts. Once the official search for Petito went underway before her remains were found, lawsuit says the Laundrie family refused to respond to questions from law enforcement and Petito's family. According to the documents, Petito's parents also believe Laundrie's parents were planning to help their son leave the United States. While Joseph Petito and Nicole Schmidt were desperately searching for information concerning their daughter, Christopher Laundrie and Roberta Laundrie were keeping the whereabouts of Brian Laundrie secret and is believed were making arrangements for him to leave the country. In the lawsuit, Petitio and Schmidt accused the Laundrie family of acting with malice or great indifference to the rights of Petitio's family. Christopher and Roberta Laundrie exhibited extreme and outrageous conduct which constitutes behavior under the circumstances which goes beyond all possible bounds of decency and is regarded as shocking, atrocious, and utterly intolerable in a civilized community, the lawsuit says. Petitio and Schmidt are seeking damages of at least $100,000. That's so small. It should be so much bigger. According to the documents filed this week, stating that they are suffering pain, mental anguish as a result of the willfulness and maliciousness of the Laundries. I mean, hey, yes, I'm so here for it. I am so here for it. Do they have enough? Will this work? You know, I always got to keep it real with you, and I haven't been able to see this document yet. This is literally breaking news, and I hope we'll be able to break down this document. If not today, I'm going to ensure hopefully Steph will be able to go through this and break this down and get more details for next week when I'm out of town. We will be obviously covering this throughout as we get more details here on Popcorn Planet, but I'm still a little bit in shock and just weirdly happy. I know that seems so strange, but I know I think I speak for a lot of you guys where it's like we watch the Laundries, man, just get away with this. We knew Brian obviously did it. We hated this guy, right? And it's hard to, like, as a parent, we've asked this question so much when we covered this case. Like, what would you do for your kids? And I think a lot of people aren't being honest. A lot of people would probably go to some serious extremes to protect their kids. However, not all parents. And you guys asked me that a lot as we covered this. Would I have done that for my own kids? I couldn't have done it. I mean, it's so hard to say without anybody's lying if you try to answer that without actually being in the moment, because most parents are going to do whatever they can for their kids. However, as I always answered you guys, I feel like I'd have to tell the truth to make sure that my kid could face some accountability and hopefully right the wrongs, everything else that's going to be due that by not taking responsibility, accountability. I don't think we could do it. So I've always thought that to this day, for the Laundries to not come clean on more of the details after even just losing their son, it all being over, just give this family closure, you scumbags. Just give them the closure that they need. It's already so many tragedies. And I know they're suffering from the loss of their son, Brian. I get it. Even if he's a monster, that is a hard loss, right? Like, we got to try to look at this from all sides. However, my God, you are just as, you are also guilty. You are also guilty. You let that family suffer for so long. You let so many resources be wasted. I wish that was mentioned in here. I wish the city would have gone after them harder. Because when you go back, and wasn't that long ago, I know we've all been trying to move on, but when you go back and just think about all that they did, to walk back to that park and know when the water subsided where he was, come on. And I gotta tell you, I have more information now. I'm banking a video. I'm gonna have to retape an intro just so you guys have it, because I taped it already a couple days ago with Jennifer Coffindaffer of the FBI. It's obviously now changes, and I'm gonna I'll put a bumper on it. I'm still gonna release it to you because I don't think he did it alone. And I'm talking about I don't think he did it alone. She's gone into detail, and I brought her in for an exclusive interview, and I'll see if I can get her back. I don't know if I can get her back in time. But I'm telling you guys, there's something off on this, and I'm not one for conspiracies. Even she verified, look, he's gone. Brian's gone. Anybody out there still asking, is Brian still around? No, he's not. He's not around, okay? That's done. However, the details around all this whole case still are not all solved as they think. And Northport, the FBI, all of them wanted it over with and just, yep, yay, good job, everybody. The reality is he used his non-dominant hand, guys. Steph, the alternate, talked about this. Jennifer's been out there and on other resources talking about this, but I spoke to her in depth about it. And I want you to do something. I want you to do something for me. Take your hand, if you're right-handed, take your right hand and hold it. I'm not going to pretend, but you know what I'm talking about. Hold it and tell me how confident you feel, right, in holding the most important shot you're going to take. Now, take your other hand. Are you going to risk taking that shot with your other hand? Are you going to do it? And you're going to do it in the video, and Jennifer's going to break down more details. But so stay tuned. If you haven't already, hit the subscribe button. Double check your subscribe. YouTube is just always unsubscribing. They're doing weird hit the bell. You get the alerts. Smash the like button. I'm sorry we have to always repeat this on this dumb platform. I wish you could just hit a button and get the content, but they don't allow it that way. They still figure out who gets what content when. But I'm telling you, try that little exercise. Does it not seem funny? And there's other details she's going to share with you. Does it not seem funny? Why would he have used... He's right-handed. She went through... Go look. Every photo, he's right-handed. But it is... The reports make it very clear he did it with his left hand. Guys, that's weird. And there's... Anyway, I'm going to... Stay tuned. I want you to hear it from her mouth. There's so much going on here, and when I hear about that, and in that video, you'll see it in that video. I'm like, well, but they're not pursuing. So maybe we're all just, it's all more conspiracy. Who knows? I think the Petitos know even more than we know, obviously. And I think the Laundries are on the run and being quiet for reasons. You know what I mean? This is telling. This is big breaking news. This is we will obviously follow this in great detail as we get. And it looks like we do have John Hubbard back. Can you hear me now, John?
I can. Let's see if it works.
Oh, awesome. We have John, and I think we have Steph, the alternator, jumping in as well. So excited to have both of them as we get into this case. I'm clipping this for YouTube because I don't want to stall too much, but I want to just get a couple quick thoughts from each of you, so bear with me, and then I'll talk to you in more detail. If you always want to see our full conversations, join membership here. You get always the replays. John, 2 questions. When you see this news that they're now suing a civil lawsuit claiming that they knew, they were helping him get out of the country, first off, do you think they're right in that? Do you believe these accusations?
On the surface, yes.
Now, do you think they're going to actually have because I'm worried because we've talked about this and I've talked about this with lawyers. It's a hard case to win. Do you think they have enough here? Do you think they're going to have enough to be able to prove that they're responsible in a civil case to get what they want, which is they're asking for $100,000?
I do. And civil cases are a lot easier to prove than criminal.
And in civil cases, right, it's just that people almost feel bad in a way of like, all right, we're going to make amends here. But they still have to sort of prove their guilt, right? And so I guess...
They do, but it's only the preponderance of evidence. It's just the majority, whereas in criminal court, it's, beyond reasonable doubt. It's going to be a lot easier. And remember, now the case is closed, so the FBI and all the other agencies that have been involved now have to relinquish their whole investigation. So I'm certain that the Petito family now has that. And so they've known.
Interesting. So do you think we have to get this document, Steph. Welcome, Steph. I know we're pivoting into another breaking story here, and I'm hoping by Monday maybe you'll be able to get the document or even bring on John back because I'm not going to be here. Maybe we can go through more of the details because I don't have the document yet, but we have these sort of broad charges that they knew, they were covering it up, they were trying to get him out of the country. Those are the biggest revelations we have so far, and that they're suing a civil case for $100,000 that they got him on retainer on September 2nd. Go ahead, John.
I'm going to say I'm certain that now they probably have all the electronic data that we were talking about before that the FBI was sitting on, like the imaging of Brian Laundrie's cell phone, the computers, all the communications that were going back and forth, and even on Gabby's, that even after she died, he was still using her phone, trying to make it look like she was still alive. So they're going to have all of that data back and forth. And, I think they're probably going to get more than $100,000.
Yeah, is that I don't even know how civil cases work. Do either? And Steph, you're not here in this country, so you would probably know even less than I do. But John, in your experience, can they get more than they asked for?
Oh yeah, yeah. Well, and
it's like
a lot
limit.
Of times these lawsuits will just say in excess of $5,000, in excess of 15, in excess of 100. So, yeah, I mean, $100,000 is not a lot of money.
Look, there's a lot of people they want justice, as Jeff was saying there. I mean, say it a little nicer, but yeah, it's the reality is what happened here is just brutal. There's clearly more than even the FBI was telling us. they're going to be able to get that data and information now, which is interesting. And yes, you're right. They went in, as we broke down the story, they talked about the final text messages. There was a lot. He was sending a lot back and forth. I mean, we knew that. The FBI sort of revealed that as well. But a lot of telling stuff. I mean, the fact that they're doing this, Steph, I want to go to you as we wrap up this standalone, then we'll talk more in detail. Like, I was saying before, like, I didn't think they were going to do this. I was getting the vibe that they were focusing on the foundations. They were moving on, but I got to say, I'm so happy and ecstatic. Are you surprised to see them do this?
No, I was waiting for it. I was actually waiting for it because I remember a stream that we did with Mr. Hubbard last year, and he said that it's easier to go down the civil route than it is the criminal route. And so to get any justice for Gabby, the civil route was going to be better, especially then after we find out that Brian Laundrie is dead. Yeah, I was waiting for this. The only thing that really surprises me out of all of this is they're only asking for $100,000. That does seem extremely low. Given the situation.
Well, it's true. Thank
but
John
it says
Carter,
at
of at least.
There,
yes, of at least. So that must be so they start with a minimum or something, I guess.
Right. But even then, at least $100,000. I'd still raise the bar a little bit there.
It's just saying that they suffered pain and mental anguish as a result of the willfulness and maliciousness of the Laundries. I mean, is that a fair charge in a civil lawsuit? Like, you willfully caused us malice, so we're charging you? Is that common, John?
Yes. And remember, so these are kind of like, if you think about it in the criminal scene, $300 makes it a felony. Once you hit $20,000, it goes to a second degree felony. And once you go to 100,000 or more, then it's a first degree. So it's just parameters for the civil suit. So they all usually want to know, well, a lot of suits will say, well, we're suing for in excess of 15,000 or 5,000. This just happens to be 100. So it could be $10 million they're asking for, but it's in excess of 100,000. That's just the way the civil system, I guess, is set up. I don't personally, I'm not a lawyer and I don't file these, but I that's just what I think it is. So I think 100 is the bottom of the big hitters, if you will. That's just what I think.
And just for clarity, because I know he jumped in. John Hubbard's a retired detective, now private investigator, but you were on the force here in Florida for 15 years?
25 years.
25 years. I knew was immensely talented. He's very experienced in this. He was not on this case. However, so you have his background where he's getting this. Final thoughts on this before I clip this, John? Any other things that maybe we should be thinking about as you read and see this?
I mean, this, if they were going to do it, they waited until they got enough of the physical evidence in their hands so that they don't look like idiots when they go file the lawsuit. And I think that's where they're at. They have gotten their discoverable items that they want, and they've known this all along. So the family, obviously, I believe they knew they were going to do this. They were just waiting till they get enough of this stuff. I mean, look how long the FBI sat on, the autopsy results. How long did they sit on before they, quote, closed the investigation, So it's just the way the wheels of justice move slower than I like, but here we are. So, they're not letting this go. They're not letting the family off the hook. They knew what was going on. They kept their mouth shut. And as we suspected early on, that's exactly why they hired an attorney to be their spokesperson, because they were guilty. Otherwise, if you have nothing to hide, you have no problem talking to the cops.
Correct. They were heartless. They were heartless people. And that's why I think that's what they made the case get even bigger. Because they didn't just take accountability and own it up, and what do you think of this theory? Jennifer Coffindaffer, retired FBI agent, is going to be on next on Monday. I'm going to drop that video. I'm going to have to add a bumper now to sort of explain this beforehand because it was pre-taped. But what do you think of the theory? Do you find it odd too that he didn't use his dominant hand in that final shot?
So I don't know. I haven't seen that report that you're talking about.
In the autopsy, it is proven he used his left hand when he took the shot, which is what caused it, close proximity. He's right-handed.
Okay, I'm sure he took whatever he could get. I'm sure she didn't just stand there and let him do it. There was a fight and a struggle.
No. I'm talking about Brian. I'm talking about Brian when he finished himself.
I don't think that matters.
That doesn't matter to you?
No. No.
Okay. Well, I want you to watch that video. You guys will make that decision. She sold me. You guys will make up your own decision. I'm like on the fence on it, but now that I see all this happening, what's going on behind the scenes, the thought process is, could the Laundries have assisted him during that, or somebody? That's the question.
Okay, let me just ask. Then I turn the question back. Could you help any of your children commit suicide? No.
If I'm a heartless monster, you never know.
If my kid turns out to be a serial killer, I'm not going to kill the kid. I still my kid. I'm gonna love him.
I mean,
I told you the family.
I don't know. I bet you Ethan. I bet you what's his name? Ethan his parents might have done it. I don't know. There are some messed up people in this world, and I don't know. I'm not a fan of these Laundries, and I got to be careful. We're all speculation here. I don't want to get in any trouble. I will let Jennifer give you her theory. You can agree with John. You can have your own theories. That'll drop that Monday. In the meanwhile, check out John Hubbard over on YouTube. John Hubbard Investigations. Steph the Alternate over on YouTube. And most importantly, I was going to say, this case isn't over. Justice for Gabby we might finally start seeing it. In the meanwhile, if you really want to help that family, you can always support the Gabby Petito Foundation, GabbyPetitoFoundation.org, to get their thoughts there. I want to talk for a few more minutes to John and Steph, but just clipping this so you guys get this main report and have all the information. I appreciate you guys watching. If you haven't already, hit that subscribe button, hit the bell for all alerts, and if you missed the live feed, hit the join. You can always catch the replays at any time you want. If you're watching live, don't go anywhere. We are not done. We got to talk Jussie Smollett.
No.